There's no known fact, this is like an AM2 socket, I do believe, but this is like an AM3 plus cooler and heatsink, and generally they are interchangeable, even though this is probably like 10 years difference of actual fan technology. And the reason I want to change this, I'm hoping this will fit, just in case this is like an earlier AM2, is because this computer is loud as stink. Okay, that's this computer just booting up. That computer's on. You can't even hear it. That's an AM3. Alright, so I'm going to shut this thing down. Okay. This one has a Be Quiet cooler on it. You barely hear the thing. So this is pretty noisy. I'm going to take that one off. And we're going to see if this works. It's pretty damn easy to do this. Basically, you just see this handle right here. Pull it up. Pull it all the way back. And when you push it in from the other side, that comes off. Then you can just lift it up. And you also have your power connector. But since this computer is probably like 10 years old, it might be stuck on there a little bit. Good. And yeah, just got to be careful how you do this. Alright. And I pulled the CPU out too. Oh, wonderful. It came with the heatsink, so that must be on there good. Oh well, gives me a reason to clean it up even more. And it's got some bent pins. That's just wonderful, but I should be able to fix that. So what I'm doing here is I'm just taking a knife and going down the lines. And I don't know how the macro on this camera is going to work, but yeah, just lining them up as best I can. I think they were actually bent before. Worst case scenario, you can actually take out the pins if you break them, pop them back in there in the corresponding spot, and you will get a connection. But that's pretty ghetto. If this doesn't fit, I'll just put a new CPU in because this one's honestly pretty old. Can't believe I just did that, but yes, I did rebend the pins and get it back in shape. So I think the problem was when I pulled it off, that thermal grease, I just attached itself way too much, and you can see that this lift pin for the CPU beside it, that is very loose, so it's not a very strong hold. Time for a rubbing alcohol, and then we'll clean it up. And first we should probably make sure that this heatsink is going to work. What'd I tell you? Perfect fit. It's going to be like 1,000 times quieter, and this is actually off an AM3, so it's going to be actually better airflow too. So, bonus. Don't come with the CPU again. Alright, we got her. A little rubbing alcohol on a paper towel, and make sure it's high percentage, like 90% or better, but we'll go with what I have. Hey Ben, we're fixing computers. Why are you scared? You gonna meow? So I'm using some Arctic Silver here, which is high density, whatever. It's one of the best ones you can use, but I think less is more when you put on thermal grease. So there's many different methods to do it, but I usually just put on like a little gloop. That might even be too much or too little. That's not the way to do it. You're supposed to do it like a little tiny circular pattern, but you know, I'm working one-handed here, folks. Anyways, we'll put on the new cooler and see what the temperatures are like. Don't forget your CPU fan, which would go into the connector, which looks like this, and it only fits one way, and it's right down there. See that? The weight connector. I'm sure this is pretty common knowledge to most of you folks, but to the folks that don't know, you're learning. Alright, so it's plugged in. There we have power. And then this, I already test fitted it to make sure it would sit properly. It's pretty cool that AMD actually kept the same heatsink connections for like all models from, God, like 15 years ago until almost now. Alright, and you can see I've just folded over this lever here once I got everything down there, and you might need to push down right there, and I suggest attaching this side at the lever first and then moving over to here. Newer computers are actually easier to attach these things, but this one's old and I'm selling it, so you gotta do what you gotta do. Now, I really want to see the sound comparison versus that honker, because that thing is noisy, man. That thing was noisier than the graphics card, the hard drives, the power supply, everything. Plug the power back in. Oh my god, see that? It's noisy, but that is nothing like before. Like once the case is on and everything, that'll be 10 times quieter. And probably flow better too, because it's a new fan. Alright, we'll check temps in a sec. Here, oh, the fans are apparently only like 1200 RPM. Maybe I'm just way too used to that be quiet in this big case because it really keeps it silent. But the temperatures are, as you can see, are all good. So we're rocking. And I left this thing on for a while, and it should be stable. It's all stable and running. Alright guys, if you liked that video, let me know. Give it a like. If you didn't like it, give it a dislike. If you just want to learn more random computer facts and tips and quick ones, then subscribe. And thank you a lot for watching. Bye bye.